Breaking news! Pascal Siakam has been traded to the Indiana Pacers for a package that includes 3 first-round picks, Bruce Brown, and Jordan Nwora. 2 of the first-round picks are for this season, with the 2026 first also included. Siakam, who is a free agent after this season, is reportedly excited about the deal and eager to work out a new contract with Indy this summer. With more on this trade, here's Woj.
Siakam is going to be a free agent this summer. He had leverage in these trade talks because nobody wanted to trade for Pascal Siakam without having some confidence that he would re-sign with them. And Indiana has that confidence. Tyrese Halliburton, his relationship with Pascal Siakam, they talked. And in talking to those around Siakam today, he's eager to talk about an extension this summer with Indiana.
For more on this story, click the link below.
This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and all right, Leaf fans, are we doing it? We have to do it, right? Wherever you got that panic button hidden, it's time to hit it and sound the alarm. Anyway, here we go. Toronto lost again last night, blowing yet another lead as they fell to Edmonton 4-2. But it wasn't about just last night, we gotta go bigger picture, because this was their 4th straight loss, but also their 3rd straight defeat after having a lead entering the 3rd period. Over the last 3 games, Toronto's been outscored 9-0 in the final frame. And I did tweet it already, but just the Leafs and blowing a lead are a big old handshake, okay? Getting sick of it. Now, as far as the standings go, Toronto is still 3rd in the Atlantic, but the division and conference is a bit of a logjam. Detroit and Tampa are just 1 point behind them, while 5 teams that are in the Metro that are in the wildcard race are within 3 points of them. But our friends at FanDuel are still believers, as they have them at minus 440 to make the playoffs. Now, the Leafs have had their fair share of problems keeping the puck out of the net this season, but it may be even worse than it looked just watching the games. Last season, Toronto allowed 2 or fewer in more than half of their games, 42 to be exact. This season, though, that number is 12, which is just 28.5% of their games played. Another concerning number is 5, which is the amount of points John Tavares has in his last 14 games. And he and William Nylander have not recorded a point during this losing streak. You know, Nylander has been really messing up my anytime goal scorer bet, but anyway, we were on a roll and now we lost 2 straight because of Willie. Thanks a lot. Tavares started the season as better than a point per game player, so this fall-off is actually quite concerning. What's also concerning is that many are calling for Sheldon Keefe's job. For those who know me, know that I've been calling for it from, before the season started. But anyway, Keefe has never endured more than 21 losses in regulation in a season since he got the job 4 years ago. But with 13 already, you can understand why things are being looked at from under a panic lens from the fan base. For me personally, I feel like it's not really time to panic, only because we saw how Edmonton turned it around. I feel like the Leafs have not even gone down that far of a slump, and we still have time. So, fingers crossed. I still have hope. It's the hope that kills ya.
It's Goalie Week here at TSN, so who better to join us than one of my favorite goalies, Marty Biron, making his digital SportsCenter debut. Great to see ya.
Great to be on, Marissa. And I played 15 years in the NHL, and finally now, with my son and his hockey buddies, I'm going to be the cool dad. So thank you for having me.
Hey, we're happy to make dreams come true over here. And we're talking about the state of Canadian goaltending. So what exactly do you think is wrong with Canadian goaltending today?
Well, we have a lot of great Canadian goalies, right? But I look at the early stages, right? When they start to develop in the juniors. Like, if you want to be drafted and if you want to be making your way into pro, well, you have to be a starting goalie at 17 in Canadian juniors. And that's really hard to do. And if you are a starting goalie young and you get drafted, then you have to have really 2 great years to be able to sign a contract, because you only have 2 years to sign a contract. And if you get a contract, then you better be playing really well in the AHL as a 20-year-old in your first year, because if not, they're going to move on to somebody else. So I don't think there's enough patience to develop great goaltenders in Canada right now. Now, there is some that are going to make it, and we still have some great Canadian goalies that have won Stanley Cups here over the last 7 or 8 years. But I think you got to go back to the beginning, because there's a little bit of a flaw in how patient we are with goalies at a younger age.
Who do you think is the best goalie in the league right now?
Oh, I mean, there's 2 that really stand out. They're not Canadians, but they play on Canadian teams. I think Thatcher Demko is my number 1 right now, just because he faces a little bit more chances. Vancouver, it takes more chances, allow more scoring chances in front of Demko. But Connor Hellebuck, he's been the steady Eddie, plays a ton of games. Totally different styles, though. Demko is more athletic. Connor Hellebuck's more structure. But those are the 2 best goalies right now. Both Americans, that's the thing, right? When we talk about development, American style, European style, and Canadian style, those 2 are benefiting from a more patient American style development for goaltenders.
Let's talk about the psyche of playing as a goalie, because some of my favorite things to do is watch a goalie's ticks or reset sequences. What are some of the more memorable ones that maybe you have, or do you notice some of them out there?
What I did is I always played 5 minute mini periods, right? So there would be 12 of them in the game, and I would always look at the clock and say, okay, I got a minute 20 left in this 5 minute segment, and then I'll move on to the next five. So basically, I stayed in the moment. So
Okay.
I know it takes a lot mentally to always reset like that, but that's what I did. But I do remember Braden Holtby, and he had this most extensive mental preparation, starting when he got to the rink. He went to the quiet room, did visualization. And then he was one of the first one that used to throw the water droplets up in the air and watch one of them all the way down, right? Always focused, always doing that stuff. Now, I would never do that because I think that's way too much work and I would be totally drained mentally. But I had I had my little quirky ones. And, you know, one of the most famous one is obviously Marc-Andre Fleury. He talks to his post and thanks his post every time they
Yes.
make a save for him.
I know I love that we just talked about that recently as well. You should thank the post. I mean, they're doing a job for you out there too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a shot on goal, though. It doesn't help your save percentage if it hits the post. You have to make the save, but hey, it's not a goal against either.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Now joined by our gambling guy, Wes Chang. Great to see ya.
Great to see you, Marissa.
Okay, Wes, give us your best bet for tonight's game.
I like Bam Adebayo to go over his points and assist combo, which is set at 26.5 on FanDuel. This one, it's all about the matchup. In these 4 games without Jakob Poeltl, 2 big games from the traditional big men they faced, Anthony Davis and Ivica Zubac, both played above average. I think Bam's going to be able to get them both on scoring and with the passing. One of the stats that really jumps out, Bam is in the top 10 percentile of centers who get their buckets made off of assists. With Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero both healthy and in the lineup, I think there are going to be more opportunities and easier looks for Bam to exploit this Toronto defense. I felt good about this pick prior to the trade news. I feel even better now with Siakam out the door.
Wes Chang, a pleasure as always.
Thanks, Marissa.
That's all for today. We'll see you back at 3 Eastern, no Pacific. Have a good one.